Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a really quick way on how to make some yummy CannaSugar. So first things first, you'll need these ingredients. Not a lot of tools. You'll need sugar. You can use any type of sugar. I like to use the golden domino sugar when I can find it. Sometimes I can't find it and I just end up using regular sugar, but it's all the same. It doesn't take away the potency and it doesn't affect the product at all. I just love it because it gives it a better color. So you'll also need a spatula. You'll need a measuring cup, a deep dish or shallow pan, and parchment paper. Now, I know a lot of you are going to probably try to half-ass this and use aluminum foil, but I'm telling you from trial and error, use parchment paper. It's going to protect your product and it's also going to save you so much of the headache. A lot of times when I use the aluminum foil, it either rips when I'm trying to stir it, and the tincture actually overcooks a little bit, taking away the quality of the sugar. So yeah, parchment paper is the best thing to use. Now, I know you can see I actually dumped the sugar in a bowl because my sugar for some reason was so packed in that bag that I have all these lumps. So I basically have to kind of break the lumps out by hand. It's not a big deal. It was a little irritating getting the sugar out the bag, but we got it done and now we're here. So I'm going to be using about 3.5 cups of sugar to a half a cup of the green dragon tincture. Now, I'm just doing this step being a little extra because I just want to break down as many of those clumps as possible. You don't have to do it this way. You can just pour it right in, but I'm trying to get some type of measurement just so you guys can see how much tincture versus sugar that I use for this recipe. Now, normally I've been doing this a while, so I don't have to measure out. I just pretty much free pour into my batches because I've been doing it for so long. But for you new beginners, I just want to give you some type of recipe measurements for you to make it if you want to make it exactly how I'm making it here today. So once we got our sugar in the pan, I'm going to measure out a cup of sugar. Now, I know I said I'm only going to be using half of this, but that's because I'll be making 2 batches of this sugar. So I just went on ahead and measured out a cup. So I'm using a half a cup here. As you can see, it's so bright, it's so green, it's so potent. And if you guys want to learn how to make this green dragon tincture, please leave a comment below and I will show you guys how to make the tincture as well. But for you guys who purchase the tincture from different stores or your local growers or wherever you get your tincture from, this is what you can do to infuse your sugar. Now, I know about 2 different ways to infuse tincture. You can use Everclear and herb to make it, or you can use coconut oil and herb to make it. There's different ways to make different tinctures. I like to use the Everclear way only because it's more potent, and to be honest, the coconut tincture kind of didn't agree too well with my stomach. I also know a few people who are allergic to coconut, so my clients and customers pretty much like the Everclear tincture a little better than the coconut. I'll probably only have like 2 people who prefer the coconut tincture. So here's how it looks. And as you can see, it looks moist. It doesn't look as gritty as it did at first, but we're going to bring it back to that. Now, my oven is on 215 degrees. Do not go over 215 degrees because you will set your oven on fire. Trust me, I know firsthand. I've done it. I've watched plenty of videos. I've heard people say it before. And for some reason, I didn't believe it until my sugar actually caught on fire in the oven. It was like so scary. And I was mad because I wasted so much product. Now, this is the second batch. I told you guys that I'm making 2 batches. So I'm using the rest of the tincture and sugar. As you can see, this is actually the cool part. I actually love this part of mixing the sugar like this. Now, there's so many different ways you can use this sugar. You can put it in your tea. You can put it in your coffee. You can make candy out of this. I wouldn't say the hard candy because you have to heat it up so hot. But as far as like making like sugar pixie sticks, and I even have people who purchase the sugar and they make like cotton candy or the hookah tips. It's just so many different things that you can do with this sugar. So be creative, and whatever you use sugar for, here you go. You can put it in drinks, like if you want to make margaritas or any type of sweet drink. You can use it for a rim. Just be creative, go all out, and use your imagination. And guess what? You have the best infused whatever you're going to make. So I just added the last little bit of sugar I had in my bowl. And I'm just mixing it up. Again, my oven is on 215 degrees. Do not go over 215 degrees. If it catches on fire, it's not my fault. It's your fault for not listening. And I don't want you to do that. Like, learn from my mistake, please. So I'm just basically taking this to the oven. And here it is, 215 degrees. So you guys know, I have an electric oven. Also, another tip, when you're putting your sugar in the oven, do not close your oven all the way. You want it to stay open, like you want it to vent open. So this is after 10 minutes. You want to do 10 minutes at a time. You only need 20 minutes. Some people do 30. I only do 2 intervals of 10 minutes. So this is after 10 minutes of being in a vented oven. You do not want your oven to completely close because, again, I'm using Everclear tincture, which is really, really strong alcohol tincture, and you don't want to blow up your oven. So please keep in mind the safety tips that I'm giving you guys. This recipe is super easy, but please be super safe. I don't want anybody to get hurt, and especially I don't want you to say I didn't tell you so. So here I'm just mixing up my sugar. And as you can see, it's a little darker at the bottom. So I definitely like to get that bottom to the top and mix it very, very well, because obviously at the bottom, the tincture, it goes down. Now it still looks pretty moist, but that's why after we mix it, we place it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. So I'm going to mix both of them. And here's my second batch. I just placed my other batch to the side, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this one more time. We want to just give it a good mix. And as you can see, it still looks pretty wet. It looks nothing like the sugar from the beginning of the video that was already infused. So just trust the process. As you can see, it's very moist. That's that tincture that we're drying out. And yeah, it's actually pretty fun, pretty cool to make. It doesn't take any time, especially once your tincture is ready. Now, you can make tincture in 4 hours. You can make tincture in 8 hours, or you can do tincture in a jar, which takes a few days. I have a magic butter maker, so it's really, really easy for me to make tincture. If you guys are interested in how to make tincture, I do suggest that you invest in a magic butter maker. And here we are. So this is after the second round of 10 minutes in the oven. And as you can see, my sugar is dry and is back to that same consistency that it was when we originally started. But you can see that the color is green. It's not that gold and it's not white. It's more green. And here's the other batch. Now this batch, it probably had a little bit more sugar in this one, so it didn't dry as much as the first batch, but it's mainly dry. You just have to give it a good mix and leave it out. So this is what my sugar looks like once it's nice and cool. It looks so gorgeous, so yummy. Like I said, you can start your day off in the morning. Add this to your coffee, your tea. You can add this to smoothies, whatever you want to infuse. It's great for the morning. It's great for candies. If you want to just put some in a little baggie and kind of dip lollipops in it. So many things you can do. I've given you guys enough ideas. Hopefully you can come up with more and be creative as possible. This is how the sugar looks once it's done. It's going to have that nice kind of like lime green tint to it. And I just place it in a jar and you're done. It only took about 30 minutes to do. Cool off, and thank you for subscribing.